Sri Mad Bhagavad-Gita, or in short, Gita, tells us many things, but I will today take only one aspect. The central theme of the doctrine, that is, karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. It means that you have the capacity to do only, to act only, to perform your best or worst only, but you don't have the capacity to influence the outcomes. What does it mean? Does it mean that there is a God or a box, a computer box intervening between the action and the result? No, that is the misunderstanding. Gita tells that action results in results. Action results in some effect. So basically it is about cause and effect relationship. Now, it does not guarantee that a particular act will always result in a particular effect, because the effect depends on many factors, and out of those many factors, the action part is only one. And this is the only thing which is in your control. You can improve the quality of your work. You can improve your time management. You can improve the acquisition of required skills to do a particular action in a better way. But the outcome will depend not only on these, but some other factors also, as we shall see later in this discussion. But first of all, let us think, let us contemplate on the point that who gives the result? How does the result come? If in a very layman's terminology, if I do something good, a good result should come. A good result will come. Or some people may say that the God will always grant you a good result. But these are assumptions of lay minds, the minds who cannot understand the processes involved in causality, the cause and effect relationship. The Upanishad says that the action, the results or the effects actually lie hidden in the act itself. So the results or the effects are like unfolding of the act. It is a direct outcome of the act. To understand it better, they have explained it that the seed of a banyan tree, the banyan tree or Ficus bengalensis, is a very large tree, but its seed is very small, very tiny. And the guru asks the student to break the seed. And he breaks the seed, and then guru asks, "What do you see?" The student says, "Nothing, just a broken seed." So the guru then tells him that you cannot see anything now but the huge, large banyan tree is lying within it. In other words, child is the father of man, or a seed is the father of a tree. So if the seed if the seed has the DNA of a mango tree, a banyan tree cannot grow out of it. It will always lead to the growth of a mango tree. Or if the seed is that of a cactus, the tree which will come out of it will always be a cactus. So this is one part of the hypothesis. But then there is another part that the seed will not always lead to germination. So there are other factors also which control the germination. Proper moisture, proper edaphic characters, the humidity of the soil, the minerals, presence of essential type of minerals in the soil, proper temperature. Every tree can't grow in every type of temperature. Xerophytes can grow only in dry desert type of climates. Hydrophytes will always grow in a more humid climate environment. So this is also very important that the seed is sown in proper conditions. But the story doesn't end here. You have used the proper opportunity, you have done the action, like you have purchased some shares, some good quality shares after studying the details and analysis in the different financial magazines by experts, and then you buy the shares. But in a couple of days' time, a big volcano or earthquake or something destroys the industry, and the price of the share crashes. It becomes nearly zero. So then the question arises that there are some more factors which are beyond our control, which are beyond anybody's control, and these are called chance factors. Now, if anybody starts thinking about all those things, all those factors, and trying to control all those factors, then he cannot do much in his life. So, we can, what an individual can do. An individual can only control the quality of his action, the timing of his action, his or her action, and other similar things, the inputs, the skill input, the time devoted to it, the time devoted to its planning, meticulous planning in detail, paid working, etc. These things are within your control and you can do these things best. But you can never ever guarantee what the outcome will be. So here we come to define the word success. Success does not lie in the outcome. Success lies in the performance. If you have performed well, if you have performed the best to your circumstances, to your capabilities, if you have made the best use of your time in preparing for that action, then you are successful. But if you have lacked in these or any one of these, then you have not been successful in doing that act properly. This is the definition of success. If we do not define success in terms of action, karmanyevadhikaraste, but we try to define the word success in terms of the outcomes, then disaster occurs. We try not to control at the action level the best, but we try to control the results. This leads to manipulation, corruption, unfair means, and many things. different degrees of adaptive behavior. The best adaptive mechanism or behavior or coping mechanism is to work towards improving your skills, your time management, your health, your mental uh, mood, your level of enjoying the work, etc. But if you try to control the results, then a second degree of adaptive behavior may occur, which is not as good. That is, after some time, one may decide that, okay, this did not work for me. He can change his goal to to something which requires lesser skills, lesser time, lesser energy, lesser involvement, or lesser whatever. So changing the goal, but even this is not a bad idea. Rather than sticking to a very difficult goal, you have tried your best, you haven't got the outcome, then possibly you need to change the goal. But many people may take a third path. That is, they may break the law. They may try to bribe the officials. Suppose if some student is taking an examination for an engineering college, he or his father may try to get the question leaked or manipulate the roll numbers and results in such a way that he gets the mark sheet of somebody who has done better, performed better in the exam. So it is swapping the results. And these things have taken place in our country, we know. So these unfair means, cheating, bribery, corruption, thuggery, are all shortcuts for achieving a particular goal. But anything achieved through these is actually not success. They cannot be called success. And they do not enhance the self esteem of the individual, rather, they internally damage the self esteem of the person, erodes his or her character, and that person becomes worse than any creature. And there may be another way of maladaptive behavior, that is blaming everybody. People are cheat, they're fraud, the system is bad, talent and good work is not recognized, all those type of things. One starts thinking, goes into depression, takes to drugs, or even may commit suicide. If somebody is very, very attached to the result, this is happening every year in our school, high school results, that kids are committing suicide if they don't get the particular desired result. The intervention should have been made at the level of action, time management, work, reading. So, after understanding this, that we should always think on what we can do and how we can do it best, rather than what will be the result. If we think too much on result, it is going to damage our skills. It may create apprehensions. It may create fear. It may raise the adrenaline level. It may raise the cortisol and other hormone secretions, which further impair our efficiency. So no need to think of the result, whether I will pass or not. If I don't get a seat in the engineering college, what will I do? If I don't become an IAS, then what will I do? Type of things. What will other people think if I fail the class 12 examination? What my relatives will think? All these types of things start dropping into your mind, and they do not benefit. If this type of anxiety was going to benefit even by 0.1%, then I would suggest everybody to do 1 hour anxiety session every day, stress session, in which one can think that, oh, it is very important. If I don't do it, then I will be ruined. If this result doesn't come, I will be spoiled. The image of my family will go down. I will become bankrupt, etc., etc. So 1 hour every day, I would have recommended people to do it, but it doesn't work. It instead of improving the result, it harms the result, damages the result. And therefore, this type of thing should not be done. We can, at the planning stage or doing something, we should know what may be the outcome. But we should never ever think that this should be the outcome. I must get it type of things. Never. Because that tendency will destroy the peace and maybe ruin the result. So, this point, which we can say non attachment with the results, is something which is another most important part of the preachings of Gita. Detachment from the outcomes, not clinging to the fruits. This was so much important that Buddha, during his research, his spiritual journey, found that this is the most important part which causes human suffering or which can minimize human suffering, and therefore he came out of he came out into the streets and started preaching about non-attachment. So the principle of non-attachment to the results is that part of preaching of Gita which Buddha made the goal of his life to spread to the masses. And he found that Gita's preachings are not spreading in the masses, they are only in the books or known to some people, then, and even in the presence of such a high quality doctrine, people were suffering, then he decided to spread it into the masses. And therefore, Buddha became the ninth avatar. The eighth was Krishna, who gave the doctrine of Gita, and the ninth was Buddha, who spread this doctrine to the masses. Apart from these things, there are other points also in Bhagavad Gita which help people achieve these first two, and that is the drashta bhava or the sakshi bhava. So, Gita says that you should have a sakshi bhava or a drashta bhava for the world, for the phenomenon, whatever is happening, whatever you are doing. This was a bit difficult part, but by repeated practice, abhyasena tu kaunteya, Krishna says that by repeated practice, this can be achieved. But what practice? That has been explained well in yoga. The practice of vipassana. Vipassana means drashta bhava, to see with a detachment. So vipassana meditation is the thing whose practice enables people to acquire drashta bhava or the witness bhava. That is a neutral observer. The qualities of a neutral non-judgemental observer. And then the other points of Gita can be easily achieved. Stress can be controlled. And whatever business one is involved in, even for a student, he may become free from the anxiety of the result, but just observe himself studying, planning, time utilizing well, and focus on his memory skills, language skills, attainment of the necessary skills by repeated practice, and take the exam. And this is success. Anybody who has lived thus can say at the end of his life that I have been successful in living the life as I should have lived. Thank you.